My precious child, my chosen one. Sit in the stillness for a moment and listen to the rhythm of your own heart. I have been watching you, and I see the exhaustion etched into your spirit. You are weary not because the path is too steep, but because you are carrying weight you were never meant to hold. I have come to you today with a message of divine urgency, a whisper into the depths of your soul that you cannot afford to ignore. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine appointment, a rescue mission for your destiny. I see you pouring yourself out, trying to be understood, trying to share the light I have placed within you, but you do not realize that you are bleeding, not from a wound of the flesh, but from the words of your own mouth. You are leaking, my beloved, and if you do not seal the cracks in your vessel right now, on the very miracle I am preparing for you will drain away before you can ever taste its sweetness. Your silence is not a cage. It is your strongest armor, and today I am going to teach you how to wear it. Before I reveal the sacred boundaries I am setting around your life, I want to know if you are listening with your whole heart. If you are here, if you feel my presence touching your shoulder right now, do not let this moment pass in silence. Declare your readiness to receive the protection I am offering. Type "I am here, Lord" or 7007 in the comments right now to open the gates of heaven over your life. By doing this, you are telling the spiritual realm that you are no longer an easy target. And as you prepare to receive these truths, join this family of believers by pressing the like button to signal your agreement with heaven's decree. Subscribe to the Sanctuary of Peace, for I am building an army of the silent and the strong, and I want you to be a pillar in my house. Your soul needs a place where it can grow without the interference of the world's noise, and by subscribing, you are planting your roots in fertile, protected soil. Now listen closely, for the enemy is clever, and he has been using your own honesty as a weapon against you. Imagine, my child, that I have given you a magnificent golden vessel filled to the brim with the purest honey, the symbol of my favor, my provision, and the dreams I have whispered to you in the dark. This vessel is meant to sustain you and your generations. But every time you speak your plans to the wrong ears, every time you seek validation from those who cannot see your value, you create a hairline fracture in that gold. You think you are just sharing, but you are actually leaking the very power needed to manifest your breakthrough. The enemy does not always need to send a storm to destroy you. Often he only needs to wait for you to open your mouth. He listens to your boasts and your complaints alike, gathering intelligence to build walls exactly where you intend to walk. I have seen you tell your friends about the promotion before it was signed, only to watch it vanish. I have seen you share your joy with family, only to feel a sudden, unexplained heaviness settle over your heart. There are 5 specific areas of your life, 5 sacred secrets that you have been offering up to the wolves. And one of them is the reason your breakthrough keeps arriving, then disappearing. Your bloodline, your friendships, your money, your love, your weakness. If you continue to speak of these things, you will find your fields barren, no matter how much you sow. I am here to tell you, stop talking. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your words are seeds, and you have been throwing them onto concrete instead of planting them in the secret garden of my presence. When you speak too soon, you lose the internal pressure required to launch you into your next season. In the silence, I am working. In the privacy of our covenant, I am building something so great that the world will have no choice but to acknowledge it, but only if you learn to guard the gate of your lips. There is a reason I have called you into this season of the black sheep, and it is not for your punishment, but for your preservation. If you are ready to stop the leak and protect the honey stay with me, for the warning I'm about to give you will determine if you enter your promised land or remain wandering in the desert of people's opinions. My beloved child, let us walk deeper into the garden of your heart, to the place where the shadows are darkest and the ground is damp with tears you thought no one saw. I know the ache that keeps you awake at night, the sharp pain that comes not from a stranger's hand, but from the ones who share your DNA. I have seen you at the family table, surrounded by people who should have been your shelter, yet feeling more alone there than in a crowded desert. I saw the way your smile faltered when a parent, a sibling, or a cousin dismissed your breakthrough with a sarcastic comment. I saw you shrink when they brought up your past, just as you were trying to celebrate a new beginning. You asked me, why do the ones I love try to clip my wings the hardest? And I tell you, I saw every eye roll, I heard every whispered doubt, and I counted every arrow of betrayal that pierced your soul. Think of my servant Joseph, the one I marked with favor while he was still under his father's roof. His first enemies were not the pagans in Egypt, but the brothers who slept beside him. They didn't hate him because he was evil. They hated him because I gave him a dream they could not carry. And because they could not rise to the height of his vision, they tried to bury it in a pit. You have felt that pit, my child, the pit of being punished for growing, the pit of being mocked for hoping, the pit of being shamed for changing. But listen closely, the pit was not the end of Joseph's story, and it is not the end of yours. I know how to turn betrayal into a corridor. I know how to use what was meant to diminish you to deliver you. Understand this, beloved. When you begin to heal, you become a mirror. And some people don't reject you because you are wrong. They reject you because you reflect what they refuse to face. Your evolution feels like an indictment of their stagnation. That is why they reach for the old you. The old you was predictable. The old you could be managed. The old you made them feel safe in their darkness. But I did not create you to be controlled by bloodlines. I created you to be led by my spirit. Blood can connect your body to a lineage, but my spirit connects your destiny to a kingdom. So stop begging for permission from people who are still afraid of freedom. Stop offering your dream as evidence in a courtroom of relatives who have already chosen the verdict. You are not too much. You are exactly the measure I formed for the assignment I placed on your life. If they cannot handle your light, it is not because your light is wrong. It is because their eyes are adjusted to the dark. I am validating you where they minimized you. I am honoring you where they mocked you. I am strengthening you where they tried to weaken you. And as you release the addiction to family approval, you will feel a strange new peace take its place, because you will finally belong to what I called you, to not to what they expected you to be. Now stay with me, because the next danger is more subtle than family betrayal. Some attacks don't come through blood, they come through smile. There are spiritual spies who pretend to be your friends, and one of them is already in your circle, and you've been feeding them information. My weary child, come closer, and let me breathe my peace into the places where you feel most depleted. I see the fatigue that a night's sleep cannot fix, the exhaustion of being too much for a world that has settled for too little. I have watched you spend hours, days, even years trying to explain the fire in your soul to people who are only looking for a way to put it out. You have been trying to describe the vibrant colors of the visions I gave you to people who are spiritually colorblind, and you wonder why they only see shades of gray. You think the problem is with your voice, but I am here to tell you the problem is with their ears. You have been exhausting yourself trying to build bridges to people who are comfortable on their own tiny islands of mediocrity. Every time you try to justify your passion, your ambition, or your deep sensitivity, you are handing over the keys to your joy and asking for permission to be who I already created you to be. Stop trying to prove your worth to people who haven't even discovered their own. I see the tears you swallowed at that meeting, during that phone call, or in that quiet kitchen when someone you respected called your dream unrealistic. They call it unrealistic because they are looking at your circumstances, but I am looking at your calling. They see the clay, but I see the masterpiece I am forming. You were never meant to fit into their narrow boxes. You were born to break them. When you try to shrink yourself to make others comfortable, you are not being humble. You are being disobedient to the greatness I placed within you. You were designed to be a giant in a world of shadows, and it is time you stopped apologizing for the space you take up. The exhaustion you feel is the signal that you are done with the theater of human approval. You are being called into a deeper intimacy with me, where your only audience is the one who knows the end from the beginning. I want you to do something for me right now, my precious one. Place your hand gently upon your throat, the place where so many of your dreams have been strangled by the fear of judgment. This is the place where you have choked back your truth to keep the peace. I am healing that area of your life today. I am releasing the tension in your neck and the weight on your shoulders. I see the silent screams of your spirit, and I am telling you, you don't have to explain anymore. Your life is not a trial where you are the defendant and the world is the judge. I am the only judge, and I have already cleared your name. I am the only Father, and I have already given you my blessing. If you feel this healing touch moving through your body, if you are ready to stop being an explanation and start being an expression of my glory, do not stay silent. Type "I believe" in the comments to anchor this shift in your soul. Let the sound of your faith drown out the noise of their doubt. And as you feel this new strength rising, recognize that you are not walking this path alone. There are others, chosen ones, just like you, who have also been called too much. Join this family of believers by pressing the like button right now to signal your agreement with the divine standard I am setting for your life. Subscribe to this sanctuary of truth, for I am gathering my remnant, the ones who refuse to be quieted, the ones who carry the heavy weight of my glory. By subscribing, you are surrounding yourself with the frequency of heaven, protecting your ears from the constant static of the world's less than mentality. You need a place where your fire is fueled, not dampened. You are entering a season where the people I bring into your life will not ask you to dim your light. They will bring their own lanterns to walk beside you. My child, I am taking you into a season of holy privacy. I am calling you to step back from the need to be understood by the masses. I am the potter, and you are the clay, and the most beautiful work happens in the quiet of the studio, away from the prying eyes of the gallery. In the coming days, I'm going to give you a strange new peace, a don't care kind of grace. You will find yourself smiling when they misunderstand you, not out of bitterness, but out of the secret knowledge that you belong to another kingdom. You are becoming fireproof. When they throw their cold water of skepticism on you, it will only turn into steam that carries you higher. Your scars are becoming your credentials. Your exhaustion is being traded for my supernatural endurance. Stay with me, for the secrets I'm about to share with you will ensure that no thief, no family member, and no spy will ever be able to touch the harvest I am growing in your hidden places. My child, lean in closer, for I must warn you about the shadows that walk among you, disguised as light. I have watched you open your heart to everyone who smiled at you, believing that a kind word was always a sign of a kind soul. But I am the one who weighs the heart, and I see the spiritual spies who have infiltrated your inner circle. They do not come with swords. They come with questions. They do not come with hate in their eyes. They come with concern on their lips. These are the people who listen to your dreams not to be inspired, but to gather intelligence for your downfall. They are the ones who ask for updates on your progress, but in their hearts, they are actually checking to see if you have failed yet. I have seen the way your energy shifts when you leave their presence, the subtle heaviness, the sudden doubt that enters your mind. That is not your imagination. It is the spiritual residue of their envy. They are thirsty for information because knowledge is the only power they have over you. Pay attention to the patterns I am showing you, my beloved. Have you noticed those who are strangely silent when you share a victory? When you tell them of my favor, they offer a half-hearted congratulations and quickly change the subject. But the moment you mention a struggle, a doubt, or a setback, they are suddenly all ears. They want the details. They want to know how it happened and what you're going to do now. This is not compassion. This is data collection. They are looking for the cracks in your armor so they can prey against your destiny or use your vulnerability as gossip to elevate themselves. They are frenemies' vessels used by the enemy to monitor your growth and report back to the spirit of delay. I have seen you pouring your pearls of wisdom into their laps, only for them to trample them into the mud the moment you turn your back. You must learn to discern the difference between a brother in spirit and a spy in the flesh who is only there to calculate your worth. It is time to close the doors that you have left wide open for too long. If you have felt this betrayal, if you have realized that some people in your life are more interested in your information than your well-being, then this is your moment of awakening. Do not be afraid to prune your garden, for I only remove what is choking your fruit. If you are ready to sever the cords with these spiritual spies, and let me be your only confidant, take a bold stand right now. Type "I trust you, Lord" or 1111 in the comments to activate a spiritual shield around your conversations. By doing this, you are marking your territory as holy ground. And as you do, join this family of the enlightened by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel. By doing so, you are telling the enemy that his spies are no longer welcome in your life. You are subscribing to a frequency where your secrets are safe and where you are surrounded by true warriors of light who celebrate your rise without a hidden agenda. Remember, my chosen one, even I had a Judas at my table. I allowed him there not because I was deceived, but to show you that a seat at your table does not mean they have a right to your soul. But unlike me, you do not need to keep a Judas in your season of preparation. I am calling you to a higher level of discernment. I want to make you invisible to the prying eyes of the wicked. When you learn to be quiet, the spies become powerless, because a spy cannot report on a secret that is never spoken. I am leading you into a sanctuary of silence, where the only voice that matters is mine. Now prepare your heart, for we are about to enter the most critical part of this message. I am going to reveal the 5 specific secrets you must take to the grave if you want to walk in the fullness of the wealth, love, and power I have destined for you. The gate is closing, and only those who know how to be silent will pass through into the palace. My child, lean in and listen with the ears of your spirit, for I am about to hand you the first key to the kingdom of your manifestation. This is the secret of the unspoken step. I have watched you full of fire and excitement receive a vision from me. A new business, a move to a new city, a creative project that could change your life. And the very first thing you do is reach for your phone. You want to tell your best friend, your partner, or share a cryptic hint on social media. You crave the well done before the work has even begun. But I am telling you today, the blueprint of your destiny is a sacred geometry that only my fingers should trace alongside yours. When you announce your next move, you are not just sharing information. You are releasing the internal pressure, the holy steam that I intended to use to propel you forward. You are trading the power of the explosion for the cheap pop of a firecracker. There is a divine law that governs the seeds of greatness. What is exposed too early withers. Think of the womb where I formed you. It was dark, private, and silent. If that womb had been open to the world in the first month, you would not be here today. Your next move is in its embryonic stage. It needs the warmth of my presence and the nutrient-dense soil of your own focused labor. When you speak your plans into the atmosphere, you are inviting the opinions, the jealousies, and the realistic logic of people who do not have my perspective. Their doubt acts like a frost on a tender sprout. You find yourself suddenly feeling less motivated, less sure of the path I gave you. This is because you sought the dopamine hit of praise rather than the satisfaction of completion. I am calling you to be a builder, not a broadcaster. I am calling you to let your results do the talking, for a lion does not announce its roar before the hunt. The roar is only felt when the victory is won. Remember my servant David when he stood before the valley of Elah. Did he walk through the camp of Israel bragging about how he would topple the giant? No. When his own brothers mocked him, he did not waste his breath explaining his strategy or his history with the lion and the bear. He kept his covenant with me in the silence of his heart. He gathered his 5 smooth stones while the world called him a boy. His next move was hidden in the fold of his tunic and the resolve of his spirit until the very moment the stone left the sling. If David had spent his energy trying to convince the soldiers of his plan, he would have been too exhausted and distracted to hit the mark. I am instructing you to guard your mouth and guard your soul, for he who keeps his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. Silence is the frequency of the miraculous. When you work in the shadows, I am able to move mountains in the light. If you are ready to enter this covenant of the secret move with me, if you are willing to let go of the need for human applause so that you can receive my divine reward, then you must seal this commitment right now. Join this family of silent warriors and press the like button to signal your agreement with heaven's strategy for your life. Subscribe to this channel right now, for I am using this place to sharpen your discernment and to lock the mouths of those who would try to speak against your rising. By subscribing, you are telling the spirit of distraction that you have chosen the path of the focused and the faithful. You are joining a remnant of people who understand that a move made in silence is a move made with my power. Do not let the enemy know where you are going until you have already arrived. The world is obsessed with announcements and coming soon posts, but I am training you for a different kind of glory. I want you to experience the shock on their faces when they see you in a position they never thought you could reach. I want them to wonder how you got there, where you found the resources, and who opened the door. And in that moment, you won't have to say a word. My favor on your life will be the only testimony needed. When you keep your next move between us, you allow me to be your strategist. I can change the route, I can refine the plan, and I can protect you from the traps that the enemy sets specifically for those who are loud about their intentions. Stop giving away your power for free. If you believe that your silence is your strength, type "breakthrough is mine" in the comments to anchor this truth. We are moving from the season of talking into the season of doing, and the results will be more magnificent than anything you could have ever described. My beloved child, let us speak of the substance that sustains your physical journey in this world, your provision, your wealth, and the harvest of your hard labor. I have seen the way your heart swells with gratitude when I open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing that you don't have room enough to receive. Your first instinct, because you are a creature of connection, is to shout the amount from the rooftops. You want to tell your friends the exact figure of your bonus, your salary, or the profit from your latest sale. You think that by sharing the specific numbers, you are testifying to my goodness. But hear me clearly, wisdom does not cheapen gratitude. Wisdom protects it. Money is not just paper and coin. In the unseen realm, it becomes a signal, an announcement of measurement, a broadcast of access. When you expose the exact measure of your increase to the wrong years, you are not being transparent. You are opening an accounting ledger in the marketplace of envy. You are inviting the spirit of lack to circle what I have planted as seed for your future and for my kingdom. You are inviting people to start calculating how they can spend what I entrusted to you before you have even had the chance to honor me with first fruits, to steward with discipline, or to assign your harvest to the purpose for which it was sent. I have seen the shift in the atmosphere when you mention a specific number to those who are still struggling. Even those who love you can fall prey to the silent whispers of comparison. In an instant, they no longer see you as a person. They see you as a resource. Their hearts begin to reach for you the way a thirsty man reaches for a well, without realizing the well has a boundary and a lid. Subtle requests start to appear. Casual jokes disguise entitlement. And sometimes the affection is real, but the expectation that follows is not. You must understand, not everyone has the spiritual maturity to carry the weight of your increase without turning it into a measuring stick for their own life. That is why I am teaching you a holy discipline. Keep the details sacred. You may celebrate my goodness, but you must not hand strangers the keys to your storehouse. I want to be your only auditor. I want your financial growth to be a covenant between the provider and the provided, clean, quiet, ordered. The world may see that you are stable, that you are generous, that you are at peace. But the world is not entitled to the blueprint of how I sustain you. When you keep the numbers to yourself, you build a wall of protection around your house that the spirit of poverty cannot scale, because it cannot find a handle to grab. I instructed you long ago in my word. When you give, and even when you receive, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. This is not merely humility. It is preservation of power. There is a difference between testimony and advertisement. Testimony points to me. Advertisement invites hungry eyes to inventory your life. Testimony carries reverence. Advertisement carries exposure. And exposure, when it is premature, has a cost you often pay later in pressure, in unnecessary fear, in people attaching themselves to you for what they can extract. You have wondered why certain blessings felt like they leaked. You wondered why the same increase that should have created stability became a season of drains and demands. Listen, sometimes the enemy does not attack by taking the money, he attacks by attaching mouths to it. He creates a crowd around your harvest. He makes you feel guilty for saying no. He makes you feel proud for being needed. And slowly, what I gave as seed becomes scattered as crumbs until you cannot build what I intended you to build. So I am restoring order in you. I am giving you the quiet strength to say this is private. I am giving you the purity to celebrate without boasting. I am giving you the courage to honor me first before anyone else gets an opinion. Because the issue is not whether you have money. The issue is whether money has a doorway into your peace. I am training you to be a steward of weight, not a performer of wealth. Many have missed their ultimate financial destiny because they could not stop turning temporary increase into a stage. They spent their harvest on applause from people who did not carry them in prayer, did not bleed with them in the hidden place, and would not stand with them when the season shifts. Think of a tree, my child. The world sees the fruit, the sweetness, the color, the abundance, but no one sees the roots. The roots are hidden in the dark, silent earth, working tirelessly to draw nutrients and support the weight of the branches. Your specific income, the how much, and the from where are your roots. If you dig up the roots to show them to passers-by, the tree will weaken. Let the world see your fruit. Let them see stability, generosity, peace, and diligence, but never hand them the root system of the amount. And when they ask, "How did you afford this?" let your answer remain simple and clean. "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." Not as a slogan, but as a boundary wrapped in worship. That sentence redirects the glory back to me and keeps the covetousness of men away from your storehouse. It tells the curious that you will not negotiate your privacy. It tells the envious that your supply is not theirs to measure. It tells the enemy that your provision is protected not by secrecy alone, but by covenant order. I am preparing to give you a heavy blessing well that carries responsibility, influence, and decisions that affect others. This kind of prosperity requires character and a tighter lip. I am not calling you to fear. I am calling you to governance. A mature steward does not announce every deposit. A mature steward assigns budgets, gives, saves, and builds without noise. I want you to become someone whose life is quiet, whose hands are generous, whose mind is disciplined, and whose heart is anchored. Someone who carries increase without letting increase carry them. And you will notice something when you adopt this holy restraint: your money stays longer. Your peace becomes cleaner. Your relationships become truer, because the people who love you will love you for you, not for the figure they imagine. The drains begin to close because you stop feeding the atmosphere of entitlement. The seed multiplies because it is no longer being pulled at by 1,000 invisible hands. Stay steady for next. I will show you how to protect the most intimate room of your soul, your love life, from the prying eyes of the world. My precious one, let us step into the most intimate room of your soul, the place where you love and where you hurt. Love is a sacred covenant, a garden I intended to be enclosed and protected. I have watched you in your moments of deep frustration when the one you love has disappointed you, or when a heated argument has left you feeling misunderstood and alone. Your first impulse, driven by the pain of the moment, is to pick up the phone and vent. You call your mother, your sister, your friend, anyone who will listen. You seek validation for your anger, looking for a jury to declare you innocent and your partner guilty. But hear my voice. My child, when you do this, you invite a crowd into a place I designed for covenant. You break the seal of the one flesh mystery I established at the beginning of time. You ask people who are not part of the vow to judge the heart of the one I joined you to. And this is a dangerous game, because you may forgive by tomorrow morning. But the listener you fed will carry the bitterness for a lifetime. A wound spoken to the wrong ears does not heal. It spreads. I see the damage this has caused before. You complained about your spouse or partner to your family, and then, even after you reconciled your family, learned to see them through the lens of your worst moment. You healed, but they stayed suspicious. You moved forward, but they kept a record. And now you wonder why the atmosphere at gatherings feels tense, why the room feels divided, why small comments have sharp edges. The truth is simple. You did not merely share a story. You planted a seed in a listener's heart. And some seeds grow into walls. Listen. Venting feels like relief because it releases pressure, but it often releases it into the wrong container. A person can comfort you while still contaminating your covenant. They can say, "I'm on your side," while quietly building a case against the one you love. Some will even use what you told them as ammunition during their own insecurity, their jealousy, or their need to feel superior. That is why I am teaching you this boundary. Your relationship is not public property. It is not a group project. It is not a stage for righteous outrage. If you have a problem, bring it to me first. I am the only one who can truly change a heart without shaming the soul. People can sympathize with your pain, but I can transform the root beneath it. People can echo your frustration, but I can translate it into wisdom. People can feed the fire, but I can pour the water of peace. Your partner is not your enemy. They are a mirror, a refining edge, and sometimes a wound that reveals where healing is still needed. And I am the one who can polish what is rough without crushing what is fragile. There is also something deeper. When you report your partner's weaknesses to outsiders, you unconsciously train your own heart to see them as a problem, to manage, not a person to honor. You start collecting evidence instead of cultivating mercy. You start rehearsing insults instead of rehearsing grace. And slowly the argument you had becomes an identity you assign. They are always like this. That is not my way. My way is redemption, not labeling. My way is restoration, not public judgment. So I am calling you to a mature silence that is not denial, but discipline. Silence that does not excuse sin, but refuses to empower gossip. Silence that does not pretend everything is fine, but takes the conflict to the right altar. There is a holy skill in pausing before you speak, in letting your emotions settle under my hand. When you learn to stop mid-sentence, you stop feeding the spirit of discord. When you learn to pray before you explain, you invite my presence into the room before you invite the opinions of men. I want you to understand the power of the bedroom and the heart. These are the places where I do my deepest work of restoration and intimacy. When you keep your struggles private, you create a safe space for growth. You allow your partner room to change without the crushing weight of public shame. You allow love to be a secret garden where vulnerability can bloom without being trampled by careless feet. There is a divine maturity that comes when you learn to lower your voice during conflicts, not because you are weak, but because you refuse to be ruled by chaos. And yes, there are moments when counsel is needed. But counsel is not the same as complaint. Counsel is chosen, carefully prayed over, and submitted to wisdom. Complaint is broadcast in pain-seeking comfort at any cost. I will teach you the difference. I will teach you to find one safe, mature, God-fearing voice. If you must seek help, someone who repairs, not someone who entertains. Someone who covers, not someone who spreads. Someone who pushes you back toward covenant, not toward a verdict. There is a reason I kept the most holy parts of my temple hidden behind a veil. Not everyone is worthy of seeing the Holy of Holies. Your relationship is a temple, my child. Treat it with the reverence it deserves. Stop giving away the keys to your most private moments for the cheap price of a few minutes of sympathy. As you honor this boundary, you will notice that the atmosphere in your home becomes lighter. You will notice that arguments end sooner because you stop feeding them with an audience. You will notice that your partner responds differently because they no longer feel publicly accused in secret. And you will notice that I begin to restore tenderness where resentment once lived because you gave me room to work. Hold the line of silence. Not the silence of hiding, but the silence of holiness. Not the silence of fear, but the silence of strength. And as we move forward, I will show you how to protect what the enemy tries hardest, to weaponize your weaknesses, so they become testimony in the right season, not a wound exposed too soon. My beloved child, I want you to listen very carefully to what I am about to tell you, for this secret is the difference between your freedom and your captivity. I have seen you in your moments of deep vulnerability, seeking a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on. I have seen you open the dusty closets of your past and pull out the skeletons you have hidden there, the mistakes, the addictions, the failures, and the sins that once brought you to your knees. In your desire to be authentic or to find pity, you have handed over the map to your deepest wounds to people who have not been anointed to heal them. You think that by being an open book, you are showing strength, but I am here to tell you, do not hand your enemies the sword they will use to slay you. The world, unlike me, does not have the capacity to forgive and forget. While I cast your sins into the sea of forgetfulness, the world keeps them in a digital archive, waiting for the perfect moment to use them as leverage against your destiny. Think of the mighty Samson, a man I endowed with supernatural strength. His power was not merely in his hair, it was in the sacred secret of his covenant with me. But Samson fell into the trap of seeking comfort in the wrong lap. He allowed Delilah, a spy of the enemy, to coax the secret of his weakness from his lips. The moment he spoke his vulnerability out loud to someone who was not committed to his protection, he lost his sight, his strength, and his freedom. You have been doing the same, my child. Every time you tell a friend or a colleague about your secret struggle or your past shame, you are cutting your own hair. You are giving them the power to label you, to limit you, and to remind you of who you used to be. Every time I try to show you who you are becoming, stop looking for human sympathy to heal a divine wound. I am the only one who can handle the raw truth of your past without using it as a weapon. When you confess your sins to me, I use them to build a testimony. When you confess them to the world, they use them to build a prison. I am not calling you to live in fear or to hide forever. I am calling you to honor timing. There is a difference between testimony and exposure. Testimony is what you share after I have healed it. Exposure is what you spill while it is still bleeding. One releases light. The other invites predators. I have watched you seek acceptance from people who are just as broken as you are, hoping that if they know your worst, they will love you more. But true love does not require you to sacrifice your dignity or your privacy. I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are mine, and I have already seen every ugly thing you are trying to hide. I have already washed it white as snow. You do not need to confess to the world to feel clean. You only need to agree with what I have already done. There is a holy privacy in your healing process. Some wounds are so deep that they can only be treated in the surgical room of my presence, away from the bacteria of gossip and the infection of judgment. When you keep your past sins and current weaknesses between us, you allow me to strengthen those areas until they become your greatest assets. The enemy wants you to stay in the victim role, constantly retelling the story of your trauma and your failure. He knows that as long as you are talking about your weakness, you are not walking in my power. I am calling you to bury the inner victim once and for all. You are not a sinner saved by grace who must forever walk with a scarlet letter. You are the righteousness of God in Christ. Your past is a closed page. Do not allow anyone to go back and read it to you. If someone brings up who you used to be, let your silence be their answer. You do not owe them an explanation for my mercy. I have given you a new name and a new nature, and this nature thrives in the quiet confidence of knowing that your life is hidden with Christ in God. From this day forward, I want you to be very selective about who you allow into the inner chamber of your struggles. If they have not prayed for you in secret, they do not deserve to hear your secrets in public. If they have not been with you in the fire, they do not deserve to see the scars. I am building a garrison of peace around your mind. I am teaching you that your transparency should be reserved for those who have proven they can carry the weight of your soul. As we move into the final secret, I am going to reveal how to protect your big vision. The massive dreams I have placed in your spirit that are so large, they would terrify the average person. You must learn to guard these visions as if they were a royal heir, for there are those who would kill the child in the cradle if they knew its true identity. My chosen one, let us speak of the fire that burns in the secret places of your imagination, and the dreams that keep you awake while the rest of the world sleeps in comfortable mediocrity. I have whispered things to you in the middle of the night that would make the average heart stop with fear. I have shown you a version of yourself that stands on mountains you haven't even named yet, carrying an influence that transcends your current reality, your bank account, and your family history. This is your big vision, the blueprint of a destiny I designed before the foundations of the world were laid. But I have seen the way you try to share this mountaintop view with people who are content living in the valley. You show them the sun and they point out the shadows. You speak of the ocean and they warn you about the salt. I am telling you today, your vision is too large for their small containers. When you try to force a gallon of my glory into a thimble of their understanding, you only create a mess and a sense of rejection. Stop trying to make people see what I only gave you the eyes to perceive. There is a divine reason why I instructed my prophet Habakkuk to write the vision and make it plain on tablets so that he may run who reads it. I did not tell him to hire a town crier or to shout it from the rooftops before the first stone was laid. I told him to write it. Writing is a private act of creation. It is a sacred conversation between your hand and my spirit. When you speak your vision prematurely to those who lack the spiritual capacity to carry it, you are exposing a newborn to a blizzard. They will call you delusional, arrogant, or unrealistic because your potential is a direct threat to their comfort. If they admit that what I promised you is possible, they must also admit that they settled for too little. To protect their own ego, they feel they must kill your dream in the cradle. I have seen you lose your momentum because you allowed someone's logical skepticism to act as a dampener on your holy fire. From this moment on, your vision is a classified document accessible only by those with the highest level of spiritual clearance. Anchor your faith in silence. Do not stay silent in your heart, for you must speak my promises to yourself, but stay silent before the world. Guard the blueprint while it is still becoming a building. Protect the seed while it is still under soil. There is a time to announce, but there is also a time to assemble. There is a time to be seen, but there is also a time to be strengthened. And the hidden season is not punishment, it is preparation. Consider the stars, my child. They are massive burning suns of immense power, but from the earth they look like tiny points of light. Your vision is like a star. Up close, it is a roaring furnace of divine energy, but to those who are far away, it seems small, distant, and insignificant. Do not be angry that they cannot see the heat or the scale of what I am doing in you. They are simply too far from the source. I am calling you to the loneliness of the heights. Great leaders and great dreamers always walk through a season of isolation where they must believe my word over their own senses and over the voices of the crowd. This is where your character is forged. If I gave you the applause of men now, you would become addicted to the praise instead of dedicated to the purpose. I am hiding you so that I can develop you. I am keeping you quiet so that when the vision finally manifests, it will be so undeniable that even your harshest critics will have to admit this was nothing but the hand of God. The time will come when the vision will speak for itself. In that day, you won't have to defend it, explain it, or sell it. When the fruit is ripe, everyone can see it. But while the seed is under the dirt, it is nobody's business but the sowers and the soils. I am the sower, and your heart is the soil. Keep the fence of your silence high and the gates of your mouth locked. Do not give the enemy a chance to plant weeds of doubt among your wheat while you are busy talking. As we transition into the next phase of this message, I am going to show you the specific rewards I am preparing for your obedience. I am going to reveal the shield of silence and the table I am preparing for you in the presence of your enemies. You have passed the test of the secrets. Now prepare to receive the prophecy of your restoration. The days of explaining are over. The days of experiencing my glory have begun. You are moving from a season of hidden struggle into a season of public manifestation. My beloved child, come and rest under the shadow of my wings, for I am wrapping you in a garment of protection that the world cannot see. You have spent so much of your life believing that you had to be your own defender. You thought that if you didn't speak up, no one would. You thought that if you didn't explain your side of the story, the lies would win. But I am here to reveal a mystery of the kingdom. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a divine shield that makes you invisible to the radar of the enemy. When you are constantly talking, explaining, and defending, you are giving off a spiritual signal that the enemy uses to track your location. Your words act like coordinates, showing the adversary exactly where your heart is vulnerable and where your plans are being formed. But when you choose the path of the silent, you drop off his map. He cannot attack what he cannot find. He cannot block a path he does not know you are taking. I am calling you to step into this invisibility cloak of my spirit, where your peace is protected because your mouth is sealed. Listen to the stillness, my precious one. Do you feel the weight of the burden lifting? For years you have been carrying the heavy armor of self-justification, and it has exhausted you. Today, I am asking you to lay it down. I am taking over the battle. I am your vindicator, the one who fights for you while you hold your peace. I have seen the arrows that were aimed at your reputation and the traps set for your progress. By keeping you in a season of holy privacy, I am letting those arrows fly past you into the void. The enemy is frustrated because he is swinging at a ghost. He hears no response, he sees no reaction, and he has no data to work with. This is the shield of silence. It is a fortress that no gossip can penetrate and no jealousy can burn. As you stop feeding the fire of conflict with your words, the fire will naturally die out. You are becoming a sealed treasure, and only those with my key will ever be allowed to see the wealth I am building inside of you. I am giving you a prophetic challenge and a promise for the next 7 days. If you will commit to this covenant of silence, if you will stop explaining yourself to the critics, stop sharing your plans with the curious, and stop venting your frustrations to the world, I promise you that an extraordinary peace will settle over your house. In these 7 days, I will begin to dismantle the obstacles that have stood in your way for years. Because you have stepped back, I am stepping forward. I am rearranging the hearts of those who opposed you, and I am closing the doors that led to your exhaustion. Feel the shift in the atmosphere of your room. The static of the world's noise is being replaced by the frequency of heaven. You are no longer a target. You are a conqueror who is waiting for the perfect moment to emerge. I did not bring you through the wilderness of misunderstanding just to leave you there. I am preparing a table for you, and in the next moment I will show you how I am going to honor you in the very presence of those who tried to silence you. Your time of being hidden is coming to an end, but the power you found in the secret place will remain with you forever. My child, I want you to lift your head and look at the horizon of your future. For I am moving you from the kitchen of preparation to the banquet hall of celebration. For a long time, you have felt like you were in the back room, washing the dishes of other people's success, serving those who never even looked you in the eye. You have been the one who did the work while others took the credit. You have been the one who stayed up late praying while others slept in indifference. But the season of being overlooked is officially over. I have made a promise in my word that I am activating in your life right now. I am preparing a table for you in the very presence of your enemies. Do you understand what this means, my beloved? It means that I am not going to hide your blessing. I am not going to give you your breakthrough in a dark corner where no one can see. I am going to seat you at a royal table, and I am going to make sure that everyone who whispered against you, everyone who tried to sabotage your name, and everyone who said you would never make it, has a front row seat to your restoration. I have seen the way they looked down on you. I have heard the pity in their voices that was actually hidden contempt. I saw the way they excluded you from the meetings, the gatherings, and the inner circles because they thought you weren't enough. But they didn't realize that being excluded by men was actually my way of secluding you for my glory. I allowed them to distance themselves so that when the breakthrough comes, they can't claim they helped you get there. They are going to see the aroma of my favor on your life, and it will be a scent they cannot ignore. You won't have to say a word. You won't have to post a single status update to prove your success. Your glow will be so bright, your peace will be so deep, and your provision will be so undeniable that your silence will be the loudest testimony they have ever heard. I am anointing your head with oil until your cup runs over, and those who tried to empty you will have to watch as I overflow you. I want you to imagine the faces of those who doubted you as they see you walking in the fullness of my promises. Not out of a heart of revenge, for I have taken the bitterness out of you, but out of a heart of divine vindication. They will see that the black sheep was actually the leader of the flock. They will see that the one they called crazy was actually the one who heard my voice clearly. You are not going to be the same person when you stand up from this table. You are shedding the skin of the victim and putting on the robes of a victor. The table I am setting is not just for your physical needs. It is a table of mental clarity, spiritual authority, and emotional wholeness. I am restoring everything the locusts have eaten, and I am doing it in a way that will leave your enemies speechless. The very people who tried to bury you will have to watch you bloom. Stay in your peace, for your silence has paved the way for this public honor. The feast is ready, and your name is on the seat. My precious one, I have watched the tears you shed over the bridges you had to burn. I know the hollow ache that lived in your chest when you realized that those you loved most could not follow you into the light I am showing you. You felt like an orphan in your own home, a stranger in your own skin, wandering through a life where no one spoke your language. But hear me now, for I am whispering a truth that will heal the sting of rejection. That season of isolation was not a sentence of loneliness. It was a sacred separation. Not because you were better than them, but because what I was building in you required quiet oxygen and space. Some doors did not close because you failed. They closed because you were outgrowing the room. Some hands released you, not because you were unlovable, but because they could not hold what was expanding in you, without trying to shrink it back down to the size of their comfort. I was protecting you from the subtle violence of limited expectations, the kind that smiles while it suffocates. I had to separate you from the noise so you could finally hear my whisper. I had to let the wrong hands release you so that my hands could hold you without interference. Because when a destiny is still forming, even well-meaning people can bruise it by handling it without understanding. But I never intended for you to walk this path alone forever. I am not the God of abandonment. I am the God of alignment. And alignment does not begin with addition, it begins with removal. I filtered you so you would stop calling familiarity home. I stripped the counterfeit so you could recognize the real when it arrives. I let you taste the ache of being misunderstood so you would never again sell your future just to keep company with the past. Now hear this, I am not only healing your heart, I am rebuilding your belonging. I am sending you a new spiritual family, not a family bound merely by blood and DNA, but one bound by my spirit and a shared reverence for what I am doing in you. These will be people who do not require 1,000 explanations for your dreams because they have seen similar fire in their own spirits. They won't need to be convinced to honor your growth. They will recognize it. They won't compete with your calling. They will protect it. They won't feed on your vulnerability. They will cover it. And I will do it with wisdom. I am not calling you to become naive again. I am not telling you to drop your boundaries. I am healing you so you can trust with discernment, soft, heart-strong gates. Because there is a difference between being open and being available to misuse. The family I am sending will not be impressed by your gifts and indifferent to your soul. They will care for the person, not just the potential. I am bringing a mentor into your life, someone who has already navigated waters you are currently treading, someone who will not flatter you, but will fortify you. Not a voice that makes you feel powerful for a moment, but a presence that makes you steady over time. I am also bringing friends, people who will sharpen your iron without cutting your spirit, who will tell you the truth without enjoying your pain, who will celebrate your progress without secretly resenting it. You are moving from a circle of constant criticism into a circle of holy accountability and clean joy. And yes, I am healing your capacity for covenant. Some of what you called love in the past was actually fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being left, fear of losing approval. But what I am building now is different. This is not attachment. This is alignment. This is not desperation. This is dignity. The right people will not require you to betray yourself to be accepted. They will not make you audition for belonging. They will not punish you for having depth. There is a specific person I have assigned to your next season, someone whose arrival will act like a key to a door you have been pushing against for years. They carry a piece of the puzzle you have been missing, but they will not arrive as a trophy. They will arrive as a gift with weight, humble, truthful, steady. Do not look for them with anxious eyes or judge them by the standards of the world. Look for them with your spirit. You will recognize them by the fruit, peace, integrity, consistency, reverence. They will feel like home, not because they are perfect, but because they are safe. I am doing this because I am a father who sets the solitary in families. I have seen your faithfulness during the hidden years. I am not leaving you in the desert of isolation. Your new family will be a testimony to my goodness, not because they will praise you, but because they will strengthen you. Real influence is too heavy to carry alone. Great blessings require a support system of the spirit people who can hold joy without envy, hold truth without twisting it, hold your name without bruising it. So stay in your peace. Keep your heart soft, but keep your discernment sharp. Do not rush to replace what was lost. Let me send what is right. Do not fear the empty seat. Sometimes I clear the table because I am preparing a feast. The footsteps of your tribe are already echoing on the path toward you. You are moving from the outskirts of rejection into the center of a kingdom family, and this time you will not have to shrink to belong. My precious child, we have reached the threshold of a new existence. As you stand here with me, I am placing my hands over your heart and my seal upon your lips. From this very moment forward, you are a sealed treasure. You are no longer public property for the world to scrutinize, judge, or drain. You have entered into a holy covenant of privacy with the Creator of the universe. What I am doing in you is so deep, so sacred, and so transformative that it requires the sanctuary of silence. Do not fear the quiet, for the quiet is where my power is concentrated. The world thinks that to be powerful is to be loud, but I tell you that the most powerful forces in my creation The rising of the sun, the turning of the tides, and the growth of a seed happen in silence. You are now moving with that same divine rhythm. The leaks have been stopped, the spies have been blinded, and the honey in your vessel is being preserved for the appointed feast. I see doors beginning to swing wide before you, doors that no man can shut. Because you have been faithful to guard what is holy, I am trusting you with keys you did not forge by your own strength. You will walk into rooms you didn't even know existed. You will receive favor from people you haven't even met. And as you walk through these open doors, you will do so with a quiet confidence that will puzzle those who used to know you. They will notice a weightiness in your presence, a steadiness that cannot be borrowed, a peace that cannot be rehearsed. They will ask you for your secret, and you will simply smile because your strength was built where applause cannot enter. Every time you choose silence over self-defense, you are building a monument to my glory in the unseen realm. But hear me closely, my beloved. Your silence is not a prison of muteness. It is training for a precise moment of destiny. There will come a day, an exact hour ordained by my Spirit, when I will give you the command to open your mouth and lift your voice. On that day, your words will not be empty noise or a cry for attention. They will be truth with weight, like a hammer that breaks strongholds, like light that exposes what hid in the dark, like a river that moves what once felt immovable. When you speak, then the world will recognize the difference, because your voice will carry the gravity of all the silence you kept in my presence. You will speak with the authority of one who has been trained in the secret chambers of the King. And until that hour arrives, guard this word as you would guard a royal heir. Do not let the thief steal it through doubt, distraction, or careless sharing. Keep your heart clean. Keep your mouth disciplined. Keep your eyes forward. You are not being delayed. You are being prepared. You are not being ignored. You are being protected. You are not being diminished. You are being consecrated. If this word is for you, comment. I keep it secret to seal your vow of protection. Like this video if you're choosing peace over performance, and subscribe so you don't miss the next message when I reveal the moment your season of silence turns into your season to speak. And if you feel led to support this work, you can give a super thanks. I see your heart, and I will honor what is done in sincerity. Go now in my peace, walk in my shadow. Guard the gold I have placed within you. It is done, it is sealed, it is yours.